Okay, here we are in beautiful Georgia again. I've really been enjoying some of the Georgia landscapes. We're gonna do a couple more of these grass strip landings and takeoffs, and really just kind of look around on our unit here. Fly around the lake a little bit. I think this is Lake Jocassee. I'll have to check, but yeah, fly around the lake a little bit. Try to see what other grass strips we can find and take full advantage of those. So. Might even move it back a little bit more, but yeah, let's go check out the lake. Awesome little area here. Looks like we're over one of these little sloughs here. Perhaps, if there's not too much tree cover, we will actually try to jump into one of these little islands. It looks like down in the distance, down yonder, if you will, that there might be some pretty accessible land cover here. So we will try for that. But love flying over the water, love being around the water. Love it in real life, love it on the sim. I'd like to do more of it, but that might be a summer 2022 circumstance. So we will see. But in the sim, we are fortunate enough to have the flexibility to just fly right on over. In tandem with that, we're actually going to look for some grass strips. So it looks like there's one about 10 miles away. We'll send a direct flight path to it. Just hang out over the water, and eventually we'll make our way over to it. Pretty beautiful though. Looks like we're heading out to the west. If you're curious, over to the north, mountains over towards Blue Ridge Mountains up towards South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia. Down here to our south, 500. Not quite as much mountain type area. But still some pretty beautiful sights. Lots of fun areas to go to. In our last flight, it was interesting in Georgia. Is lots of mountain cover and elevation changes, and a pretty neat place. I actually was doing a flight off stream or off camera in Utah, and I was over Great Salt Lake and it is interesting. So here, the water, you have a pretty decent depth perception of the water. On that lake, it was very difficult to gauge how high you were off the ground and where you were in relation to... Oh, excuse me. Where you were in relation to some of the other landmarks or some of the other, you know, inland areas and even some of the islands. Managed to land on 2 different small islands. Had to pass one of them. It was just a little too unforgiving as far as the terrain on it. Looked pretty bumpy where there was some flat-ish looking spots, and even those were pretty short run-up areas. So we will see. We will see what we can do here. By the looks of what was on the lake, everything seemed to be forested. I think I had a maybe a rendering distance issue where I wasn't seeing the full story on that one set of one little plot of land. So we're gonna hold off on some of the island landings here in Georgia, but out in Salt Lake, maybe even some places up in Jocassee might have enough area on a beachfront to go land at. Have to test some of that out. I'd like to fly around Jocassee and Hartwell and Oconee and some of the neat places like that. My goodness, I am yawning a lot today. Flying pretty low. Typically wouldn't fly this low, but I was enjoying some of the scenery over the lake and flying pretty well, pretty steady, and pretty decent conditions here to fly low. We'll actually check through our wind vector up here. Looks like we got a slight headwind, nothing too challenging, but should have a pretty cool landing up here. We'll see how much space we actually have, how short the strip is, and see what we could do. Also curious the orientation. It's like a little baseball field down here, a little soccer pitch, football pitch, a couple of them actually. Pretty neat. Probably a school and school parking lot there. Curious if this little brown patch up here is it or not. I think it's a little close for it to be it, but you never know. Actually zoom in a little on our display here. Looks like we're overgoing some small water features. If I can dip down and check them. Oh, there's one right in front of me. Alright, looks like that's gonna be our area right down there, maybe? I think we're actually gonna cross it right here. Alright, so that's pretty doable. That's actually pretty nice compared to some of the other ones that we've done, so do a nice little turnaround. Pretty steep 45-degree bank turn here. Make sure we actually gain a little elevation. Looks like the terrain was coming up a little bit. So we're gonna just back this power off. Let that sit relaxed, stay around the 60s area. We're gonna throw some flaps down, give her a little extra juice, and actually try to get over to the real steep bank and lower this plane down. All right, throw another set of flaps in here. Do a real kind of short landing if we can. Actually, sit back down in the cockpit a little bit. We're hovering right on that cusp of stalling, so we're gonna come in for this landing spot right here. Got a car on the runway, unsafe. Small bounce. We're gonna just run around that car real quick. Try to get back over here. A maniac on the runway. Actually reminds me of a spot in Texas at Hicks Airfield, near where I used to live, and there is a restaurant there that you have to drive on the taxiway and across the runway to get to. Pretty exciting, pretty fun. You get to see planes come in and out, and that's always kind of an enjoyable event, but a little nerve-wracking sometimes when you hear the planes and they come in swinging pretty close above your head. But let's do one more takeoff, maybe get one more airport in here, one of these small grass strip kind of areas, and we'll call this one good. As a matter of fact, let's see if we can check out nearest. Check our fare. Holly Farm, that looks fun. Honestly, Air Acres kind of sounds cool too, but we're gonna go with Holly Farm, and see what we can do here. Throw up all the flaps, give her one notch. Try to manage the torque steer here a little bit. These things like up front to try to get a little squirrely on you, and it can get into kind of a undamped oscillation pretty quick. But looks like we've managed to avoid some of that. See some of the buildings and terrain below. Try to get a little bit more altitude than what we've been getting here recently. Get a couple thousand feet under us and carry onward to Holly Farm. Climbing just enough to get up at 2,000 feet, then we'll level off. Try to just do it via trim without the leveling functionality here on our Cub, our X-Carbon Cub. Pretty sweet plane. I was mentioning in the last video when we were going to Heaven's Landing and a couple other little grass strips. Pretty cool plane. You get the benefits of the avionics on board, and if you were so inclined, you could do some autopilot flying, which in some of the backcountry stuff where you're going from kind of spot to spot is pretty nice. But you also get the benefit of the kind of the STOL, short takeoff and landing plane characteristics, and that's what kind of makes it fun to me. I'm trying to get better in these tail dragger aircrafts and trying to get better at some of the short landing stuff. Takeoff, I've started to manage pretty well. The deal I struggled with was keeping the rudder in line and keeping it from getting too out of control on me. But with regards to actual landing, that's where the bread and butter is now, I feel like, as far as trying to get better. Not have so much bouncing, and sometimes that's tough on the tarmac strips, to be honest, but even on the grass strips, I seem to find a way to bounce these things around. So yeah, we're gonna spend another 3.5 minutes here, looks like, in the air, and then find Holly's Farm and drop the bird on the ground. Call it another good day of quick flying around here in Georgia. Kind of enjoying it. It's like these planes tend to, like, you enjoy flying through the mountains and checking out some of that scenery, and I enjoy that. But it's kind of nice going places that are only a couple hours from where you live and have some good scenery and kind of good flying overall. And I'm really enjoying the grass landing strips, so trying to wherever I can find them. It's a little tough right near where I live, but I found some pretty good ones in Georgia, which is good, and seeing what we can make out of those. Trying to get back up here to 2,000 feet. We've kind of been hovering plus or minus 100 feet of it. I'm not throttled up too terribly much either. Trying to keep it under the 100 knot mark. Not because it can't handle it, but just enjoying that kind of speed and passing by scenery and just a real enjoyable flight here today. Pretty cool seeing the sun start to come down a little bit. It's pretty reflective of real life. I do have the live weather, live timing, and everything on. Up north of here, quite a ways, it's a little bit stormy, so hopefully we'll weather that just fine. But yeah, it looks like plenty of open land down here to land around. So that's pretty exciting. I'm wondering if Holly's Farm is actually one of these spots. We'll see if we can sit up a little bit to see. But honestly, I think I could get this thing down in one of these fields if I was really trying. Probably come in where that gravel patch is and end up in the grass. But over here, it's looking like plenty of little spots, maybe some sand traps. Might be a golf course, based on the water trap and sand trap. But about another minute, we'll be over here at Holly's farm or Holly Farm and get this bird on the ground. We'll actually zoom in a little bit. I have found, like, I'll think I'm really close or just passing by. Yeah, I think this is a golf course. Passing by an airstrip, and then I zoom in, and turns out I'm still several hundred feet away. So we'll check around here, see what there is to offer. I think it's going to be where this little barn kind of deal is, this white barn structure, and I think we're going to try to land parallel to where we're flying right now. Looks like we could catch a ball game. Just fly right on over and catch a ball game over here. Be excellent. But maybe watch a little track meet. But yeah, it looks like we're going to try to land right on this strip, and we'll turn it around, fly it to the hangar, and call it a good day of flying. Nice little pond lake area over here, but that's a fun place to live. So we're gonna back this throttle way down. Maybe a little bit extra from there. We're gonna do a pretty aggressive 45-degree bank. Actually try to keep the nose up, even though it'll climb a little bit. We should settle into a neutral attitude. Give it a little bit of extra gas here, and then we're gonna go 2 notches of flaps just to make sure we get the short landing we need. I think we could have come in the other side and maybe had a little bit easier time, but I like the challenge. I like the don't smash into the trees, but also, you know, get the plane down. And so here we go. Got a little shadow effect going on. Try to get this down quick. Oh no! Oh! I think we're gonna call that a crash. I do not think the plane would have liked that in real life. Perhaps there's not really a good landing approach in here, and I was prepared to call it there, but I think we're gonna have to give that another shot. That was not ideal, and I would come in from the other end, but it seems too easy. This is coming from the person who just basically crashed though. So let's see if we can get this bird turned around. And we're gonna do a very aggressive takeoff here. Yep, come on, we'll pick up speed. Don't panic, and get her off the ground and heavy climb attitude. Don't stall it. Whoo, man. Not sure what was more exciting, me running running late into that that field and then crashing, or that pretty fun takeoff. All right, so we're gonna give it another go. Gonna give it another go here. Bleed that throttle back off. We're gonna try it again. Flaps all the way up. Bleed that throttle a little bit more. See what we can do here. Alright, so there's the water feature. There's the little viewing area. See if we can see it. I actually have kind of lost it. I know it's over here because of that, but okay, yeah, I think it's I think that's where I crashed. So let's bring her in on this side. See if we are in any better shape than we were before. Ooh, we are real aggressive here. I think we're gonna find ourselves in the same spot. So we're actually gonna bail out. We're gonna do a little go around. Started to hit that stall horn. We're not gonna have that though. So we're gonna sit there and lead that up. Beautiful water right here. I love it. I don't know what this is, but I love it. Little lake or pond kind of area. It is okay in my book. Okay, come back around. There's our point of reference there. I see the barn in the corner. Have to really, I mean, we are as slow as we can get the plane without just falling out of the air. And we're gonna ride over that tree. We're gonna pitch up later, really stress the frame. Oh, did I wait too late though? Oh, I think we can make this work. Ah, yes. Just goes to show it can be done. And you can not run off the end and get to observe some of these floating trees, which is exciting, if you ask me. So, spin around, throw the flaps up, taxi over to the local hangar, and enjoy the fact that we are not yeeting off the end of the runway into a cliff, a shallow cliff, but a cliff nonetheless, and then smashing into the other side. Thank you, Microsoft, for not being so stingy on the realism that we just totally crashed and died there. So I think that's gonna wrap it up. I'd say we kept it in one piece. We really didn't. We definitely smashed into the other side, but we did go back around. We tried it again, improved. I'd say that second landing was a pretty good one. I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, we will call that a day, a short day, but a short day of some grass strip landing flying, and we'll do it again soon. Thanks. We'll catch you next time.